for another edition of the program that puts you on the tracks ahead of next year's general elections, and that's Agenda 2023 on the People's Tele OGTV. Today we have another topic to discuss, and we have another guest. In fact, it's a big guest, one of the big stakeholders as far as next year's election is concerned. But before we unveil our guest and our topic, let's quickly look at some issues in the news. Just 3 of them this afternoon. We'll come back shortly and we'll unveil the topic and our guest. Stay with us. All right, some of the issues that are trending in the political space of Nigeria as we are counting down to next year's general election. Okay, on the program this afternoon, we have the man that's saddled with the organization of next year's general election here in Ogun State. I'm talking about the Honorable Resident Electoral Commissioner in Ogun State. That's Olani Ijalayi Esquire is our guest on the program this afternoon. Good afternoon, Rec.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Good to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good to see you again. I think this is the second time you are appearing on this program.
Yes, the second time actually.
Yeah, and we actually said that we'll bring you in more because we are counting down effectively to the election next year.
That's true. That's true.
Yes, we want to look at preparations because there is no point in time that we can't look at preparations of INEC. You are in charge of INEC in Ogun State as Honorable Rec. Let's look at specific issues before we go to the general issues. The issue of CVR, Nigerians need to know to what extent it has gone in Ogun State, and what has been the response, and what can we say effectively in terms of number of Ogun State people that have picked up their cards and are ready to vote next year.
Thank you very much. As far as the CVR is concerned, we thank God we had a very good outing in Ogun State. The turnout was very impressive, particularly at the last quarter. You recall we stratified the 1 year for the CVR exercise into 4 different quarters, and initially the response was very slow. I mean, in the first quarter there was kind of great apathy at the time, but as the quarters progressed, particularly at the last quarter, which was the 4th quarter, there was this surge, and people came out en masse to register, and as a matter of fact, it was supposed to have ended at the end of June, but then because of entreaties made to the commission, the INEC commission, it was again extended for another period of a month, and the response was very, very encouraging. As we speak, we have a total figure of 345,585. 345,585 for the 4 quarters. The first quarter, we had a figure of 12,929. The second quarter, we had a figure of 21,371. Third quarter, we had a figure of 53,482. And like I said, the fourth quarter, we had a figure of 257,818, making a total of 345,000. And equally as we speak, the cards for the first and second quarter are out. They're all they're with us here in Ogun State, and we have distributed to all our outlets in the local government areas, and they're being collected. And we want to use this medium again to appeal to all eligible registrants who have registered to please come forward and pick their cards. The cards for the third quarter will be out will be ready in October for collection. And by the end of November, the card for the final quarter, that is the fourth quarter, will be out for collection. So we are appealing to everybody who are so far registered to please come forward and pick their cards. It will be a futile exercise or an exercise in futility to have come to register and not come to pick the cards. The whole process will in fact will equally be incomplete also if come 2023 those who have registered and have collected their cards are equally enjoined to come out and vote for candidates of their choice come 2023. So we want to thank you very sincerely for collaborating with us in this regard as far as the sensitization is concerned, and we still appeal to you to continue to partner with us such that people of the gateway states, the good people of this state who have registered will come out, pick their cards, and come 2023 they will be out to also vote for people of their choice.
As far as picking up the cards is concerned, any deadline?
No,
okay.
No, there's no deadline. But I will implore people, because like if the process of what we encountered on the CVR is to go by, in reality, when the days are drawing near to the election, then there will be a surge of people coming out. In order not to, in order for people to come in and spend a little while, pick their cards, I think this is the time to do that. This is the time. We shouldn't wait till the last minute. It's becoming a national psyche, that we leave things to the very last minute.
Last minute rushing.
They would start to rush, exactly. And then we'll be, But if you come in, at our own pleasure, now, you can come in, pick your cards, and that will just be fine.
And it's been simplified. The cards are in local governments.
Yes.
Local governments where people reside.
Exactly. The cards are there. The cards are, what we've done is that we've sent the cards to the local government areas where the registrants had registered. It's easier to pick them there. And the cards are there. And what we've done again to ensure that people pick these cards is that we have, as a matter of fact, photocopied the list of eligible registrants whose cards are there in those local government areas.
Okay.
Am I communicating? So that if a man comes to pick his card and he sees the names of other people he knows on that list, they will be able to inform them that their cards are there for collection.
Now, have you also been able to solve this issue? The issue of people moving, changing locations before the election?
Yes, thank you very much. For people who will be moving, we had, I think again, maybe with this, if not this program, we had expressed there was a window for that at the time of the CVR exercise for those who desired to move their location. That is to say, if a man had registered in Abeokuta and has now moved to Ijebu-Ode, there was that window of opportunity at the time of the exercise of the CVR to come to our office and would have arranged movements or, to the new area he wishes to vote. So if that has been done, rest assured that he will be able to vote in that new location. As a matter of fact, we have even progressed it further that if that registrant desired to even vote in a particular polling unit at that time, if he had indicated it, we would have transferred his card to that locality. That
luxury is no room for that anymore.
It's closed.
It's closed.
It was part of the CVR process.
So the best any registrant could do is probably travel night before.
Now.
Travel night before. For instance, if I live in Abeokuta,
yes.
if I was living in Abeokuta when I got the card, and I moved to Ijebu-Ode, and I still want to vote, that means I have to.
That appears to be the case.
I have to come back to Abeokuta.
That seems to be the
night
case
before.
That may be the case now, because the window of opportunity was available during the CVR exercise, and all those windows are so far closed.
Okay, let's look at IDPs. We really don't have them in Ogun State. But people that are living with some disabilities,
Yes.
What are the arrangements for them?
Thank you very much. The Commission does not intend in any manner to disenfranchise any registrants. And this is inclusive of people, the IDP, those in the IDP areas, or people who have one challenge or the other. Let me first commend Nigerians for our understanding in accommodating people in this category. Before I talk about the IDP, I wish to talk about those with disabilities. Now, what am I saying? I was in Osun State to support the commissioner, the resident level commissioner there during the last gubernatorial elections. And I was pleased at the understanding of Nigerians who are there to vote. Now, what I noticed, we gave simple instructions to people that they should please show understanding to the aged, to the pregnant women, to people with disabilities, to give them room to vote. And that understanding was just fantastic in Osun. It was just fantastic, So we hope that will be the case again during the general elections in Ogun, and indeed all over Nigeria.
Very accommodating here.
I'll be glad to see that too. That when we see, we will all, for the aged, for example, we all pray we grow old.
Yes.
But when we see the aged there, of course, let's give them accommodation, mama, papa, look forward and get that done.
Yes.
It's in the, you get done with them and they can go home.
Exactly.
And then we that are still agile and younger can weather a bit of more storm.
Yes.
That's that. Then when it comes to the issue of
people with disabilities,
the commission has made provision for example, those who have challenges with their sight, the brailles and all these are there now to assist them votes. As a matter of fact, only yesterday we forwarded, the commission in Abuja inquired from us as to the number of people with such challenges in the local government areas, so they can make appropriate accommodation for them during the elections. So I am assuring Nigerians that those who may need assistance in this regard at that time, such facilities will be available.
What about technologies that are going to be deployed for this election?
Yes.
We saw a bit of that in Osun, and we've heard so much about beavers.
That's correct.
How foolproof is it going to be, or am I asking for too much?
No, it's an election. I'm delighted you mentioned the beavers. I think we must commend the commission for coming up with that noble and lofty innovation. Now, the beavers is just a fantastic technological process. It has eliminated to a great extent human interference. In other words, the beavers is configured in such a way that it's localized to that polling unit where you are supposed to vote. And the first thing it does is that it accredits that registrant. And if one is not accredited, if that machine does not accredit you, that person cannot vote. That's number one. And don't forget that beavers it has a twin prong function. The first is to capture your biometrics, and the other is to capture the face. In other words, if in the event, like even if one is a twin, or if there are two twins and they're so identical, their biometrics will differ. So what it does is that if it captures at least one of those, if it captures your face, you'll be eligible to vote. But if, for example, it's difficult to capture if it captures the biometrics, you'll be eligible to vote. That's another advantage of the beavers. So it eliminates human interference. Number two is that there's no more issue of incidence form, which equally was an human intervention in those days. In other words, if, for example, you say, I'm sorry, I cannot find my name on this, and you go to register and find your name there in time past, you'll be eligible to vote. But now it's not allowed. What it means is that the moment the beavers captures, so when you get to the polling unit on that day, the first thing it does is to accredit all the registrants that are there, all the voters rather, they're not voters, intending voters. So it will accredit them for the elections. And once it does that, and it's upon that that you then be eligible to go and vote. And as you are voting, that your vote is being transmitted to the INEC Central Portal in Abuja.
So in other words, the results are, filtering in.
It will be filtering in as, it will be filtering in just like that. And the beauty of it is that we at the commission, at the local government, at the local government, at the polling units, to start with, there we have there'll be this officer there who will supervise the vote at the polling units. After elections are concluded, it will count, let's say we have 200 people who have registered. The 200 people who have voted. Those 200 will be transmitted to the central depository. That's number one. But then there will be that, it will be then recorded on the record sheets of INEC at that polling units. And that then will be transmitted, from that polling unit to the local government collation center, and from there to the state office, where
What about contradictions in?
Very good.
If there are contradictions in the results,
yes,
that go into the server,
yes,
and the one that is that is manually generated.
Very good. I'm happy. So the reality is that, this was one of the issues that we, looked at in Osun, and we found it was a fantastic process. Now, it was exactly the figure, because the manual process is, at the manual process, you have the representatives of the political parties there.
The agents.
The agents are there, the representatives are there. So, and then the presiding officer at that local area would have said, okay, we have 200, blah, 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 party A scored so much, party B, party C, and so on and so forth. And this agent will equally authenticate that result. Will authenticate that result. That is what will be transmitted to the collation center.
So you have no case as a party agent to come back and say.
You can't have any case. There's no case at all.
What about recalcitrancy? I mean, if I get to a polling booth and Beavers does not recognize me, and I want to prove stubborn. Have you made preparations for security to actually take such individuals away?
In fact, we won't want to. We will hope that people will show understanding.
Great.
I must admit, and I must be very frank, the Beavers in Osun, was it was a great improvement over that of Ekiti.
Okay.
It was a good improvement over the Ekiti experience.
Yes.
But then, in the case of Osun, what happened again there was that in one or two of the polling units, we had some challenges recognizing some aged people. So what we did was to move, the Beavers and that aged, these few aged people from that location to a brighter area, still within this precinct of the polling unit, and it captured them. So in other words, I do not know, maybe because of aging and all that, but maybe at that location it was difficult to capture, but then we moved the old Beavers to, somewhere where there was more sunlight, and it captured those.
In other words, you actually explored all possibilities.
All possibilities.
To get, so what if those possibilities fail? Then
I'm
clearly
sorry,
shows that...
I'm sorry, that person may not be registered, may not be able to vote at that election.
Okay, quickly, as we're closing, Honorable Rec, let's, on a sad note, the PRP gubernatorial candidate in Ogun State died recently. What has happened? Are they replacing? Have they replaced?
To the best of my knowledge, we have not been
Told.
No, of course, I read it in the newspapers, but it has not been escalated to us.
Oh, okay.
So far, officially.
Officially.
Yes.
So, so far, effectively, the man that died is still the candidate of the party.
On the record.
On the record.
On the record. Except the party escalates it
exactly
to the commission.
Okay. Honorable Rec, as we're going quickly, 30 minutes are not always enough for you to discuss. But certainly we will have to come back more. Next year is still very much far away.
That's right.
But the grace of God will be alive to witness it.
Amen.
Now, what's your advice to state people? Because next year general election demands a whole lot of understanding. Beavers, other technologies, and all that.
Thank you very much. My charge to the good people of the gateway states is that and it's an appeal, it's by way of appeal. One, this is a very strategic state.
Yes.
For so many reasons. We have so many leaders who have been, who are indigents of these states. And of course, people here are very enlightened, very, very enlightened. But we want this to reflect in the way and manner you collect your cards. We want people, the cards are there, available at our offices all over the state. Please come out and pick your cards. That's number one. Number two, when you pick these cards, we equally appeal to you to also come out, because it will be an exercise in futility to just pick the cards and put them under your pillows.
Yes.
But it will be nice also, come 2023, to come and exercise your franchise, to vote for candidates of your choice at every election. That is when we would have done sufficient justice to Nigeria and to ourselves.
I must thank you so much. Honorable Resident Electoral Commissioner in Ogun State, Niyi Jalaye Esquire, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And we want to wish you best of luck on this hot seat. And certainly we'll bring you back. I'm sure you're not going to get tired of coming here.
No. It's a delight. It's a delight to be with you.
Thank you so much. Yes, he's also, he was accompanied here by Mr. Abeokuta Ajayi, the Public Affairs Officer of OGUN, Mr. Dasu Ronald, our friend, CSO, and of course Mr. Owolabi Taiwo, who is PA to the Honorable Rec. Thank you so much, Rec.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that's the program this afternoon. Agenda 2023 will return next Wednesday with another issue. Everyday issues emanate around the next year's general election. So just keep watching OGTV. I'll catch you again next Wednesday. Bye for now.
Thank you very much.